Morning, Bucknutters. Welcome into the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Monday, August 31st, 2015. I am Dave Biddle. We are just a week away from the start of Ohio State's 2015 season. How exciting. 1 week away from the big game at Virginia Tech. Let's get right into it. The Buckeyes announced their captains Friday night. And did Urban Meyer tip his hand here who his starting quarterback is going to be? We shall see. But yes, J.T. Barrett is one of the 6 captains. He is joined by Jacoby Boren, Taylor Decker, Braxton Miller, Joshua Perry, and Tyvis Powell. I really like this group of captains. And yes, I think Urban Meyer did tip his hand on who's going to be his starting quarterback, which means I've been wrong the entire offseason. I thought it was going to be Cardale Jones, and maybe it still will be. Kenny Guyton was a captain a couple years ago, and he was a backup quarterback. And I'm sure if anybody asked Urban Meyer about that later today, that's what he will say. He's like, we've used backup quarterbacks before as a captain. So he's not going to say it's tipping his hand, but I tend to think J.T. Barrett's going to get the start against the Hokies. Cardale Jones will play early in that game, though. So, again, all offseason I've been telling you wrong. I said Cardale Jones is going to start, J.T. Barrett would play. But it looks to me like J.T. Barrett's going to be the starting quarterback. And I think Urban Meyer has dropped subtle hints throughout camp when he said one guy was moving ahead of the other during practice, but then another guy had a pretty good scrimmage and kind of evened things up. To me, I read into that J.T. Barrett was the guy that was a little bit ahead of Cardale Jones until the scrimmage when the gamer, Cardale Jones, evened things up a little bit. So we'll see what happens, but the fact that Barrett was named a captain as a third-year sophomore, Jones was not named a captain, I think that indicates Barrett's probably going to be the starting quarterback, but we shall see. Maybe Urban Meyer will throw everybody for a loop and he'll have Braxton Miller take the first snap of the season in a Wildcat look. I think that would be kind of hilarious, but he's probably not going to mess around with this being such a big game. I look for J.T. Barrett to be the starting quarterback. Now for an update on the recruiting front, specifically how future Buckeye players did over the weekend, let's turn it over to our Alex Gleitman.
I'm going to talk a little bit about 2 Ohio State recruits that were in action on national TV over the weekend. The first is Tristan Wallace, class of 2016 quarterback, a 4-star from DeSoto High School in Texas. DeSoto was ranked number 7 in the country by USA Today coming into their game against Arlington Martin on ESPN. And they lost 46-26. It was actually a rout in that game, and a lot of fans after the game were, they were kind of bashing Tristan Wallace a little bit. The quarterback did not have an outstanding game, but it wasn't completely all his fault. But I think the takeaways here, Wallace did finish with 527 total yards of offense. That can't be ignored. A lot of it did come in the fourth quarter when DeSoto was playing from behind. But, his offensive line didn't give him much help throughout the game. His receivers didn't give him much help. That said, Tristan did make some poor decisions. There were some mechanical flaws. To me, though, the biggest takeaway was that I saw a kid who was ready to play in Ohio State's system in terms of his physical tools and ability. He has a big arm, which is great for a quarterback, but the biggest thing is the way he ran the read option. All of his reads were right on point. He was making the right decisions, and he's got speed. I mean, this kid, he's no small kid. I mean, he can break some tackles, he can make some guys miss, but he also has speed when he gets into the open field, and I think the physical tools for Tristan Wallace was everything you'd want to see in a future Ohio State quarterback. The great news is when he gets to Ohio State next year, he's not going to have to perform right away. The Buckeyes will potentially have both Cardale Jones and J.T. Barrett back. They'll have Stephen Collier. They'll have Joe Burrow in there. So there's at least 4 quarterbacks, most likely 3 if Cardale Jones leaves ahead of him. He could likely redshirt. He'll have a chance to work on those things, the footwork, the mechanical things, the throwing accuracy to go along with that big arm. So I'm not very worried about Tristan Wallace like a lot of Ohio State fans are after this game. I think he's the perfect guy for Ohio State and Urban Meyer's system, and I think he'll be just fine. On the flip side, a guy who did perform outstanding was Malik Barrow of IMG Academy, as they absolutely rolled Miramar in their game. And if you haven't seen it yet, I think one play could sum it up. Go to Bucknuts 24/7 Sports and check out. Bill Kurelic actually put up an article yesterday, which shows a vine of Malik Barrow getting through the line, tipping a ball up to himself, and intercepting it almost for a touchdown. It was very J.J. Watt-esque. He likes to compare himself to Ndamukong Suh. Suh could have made a play like that. Just super athletic play by Malik Barrow. And just watching him in that game, and from everything we heard from the first game, I think this kid's going to be a lot better than people think. At 6'2", 277 pounds already, he's a guy who's going to move inside for the Buckeyes. He's just super athletic. He's a fast twitch type of guy. I think he's very underrated just from watching him play. Now, of course, it's just 2 games into the season, but Even the coaches at IMG on the broadcast yesterday, they were saying that Malik Barrow could be the most talented player on that team, which is full of studs that are all going to high-level Division I colleges. So I think, Tristan Wallace, not a great game, but showed promise and tools for the future. Malik Barrow, outstanding game, extremely impressive, great use of his hands, very quick off the ball, extremely aggressive, played with a nasty streak. That's everything you want to see in a defensive lineman, and that was from defensive end. So I think inside a tackle, he's going to be too quick for guards, and he's going to do some damage at the next level.
Thank you very much, Alex. Good update on the future Buckeyes there. For more on recruiting, the Dean of Ohio State football recruiting, Bill Kurlick, has his What I Am Hearing column on the site already for subscribers. It includes items on Donnie Corley, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and a 2018 quarterback from South Carolina that will visit Ohio State. So make sure you check out Bill's What I Am Hearing column if you haven't already. And today is a huge day for team coverage. This is the first Urban Meyer press luncheon of the season. We will chat with Urban Meyer at 11:45 today. Then we're going to interview Ed Warner and Luke Fickell from noon to 12:30. And then from 12:30 to 2, we're going to interview several players. So it's going to be wall-to-wall coverage on Bucknuts all day. We're going to have stories, bolts, videos, everything you can imagine. The front row message board is going to be vibrant. So it's here. It's here, my friends. Football is here. So really exciting stuff. I really appreciate you guys tuning into the show. Thanks again to our Alex Gleitman. And thanks to you, the listeners out there, for dropping by. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. Take it away, best damn band in the land.